So, as you have already heard, Onaubinisay Nijinikas, Wabajeshi and Wodem. Niganigijik and I was also given the name Niganigijik, which means the leading sky. I am of the Marten Clan, Shawanaga and Ojibway. I originate from Shawanaga. And I was raised up as a chief in our lodge at the Eastern Doorway. In time, my hair has been white for a long time. But in time in the lodge, I was also raised up as Gitche Aya. That's a hard one to say, that you are Gitche Aya. Because that word, actually, the sense of that word is, it is in the word, a great being. That was the way that we referred to our elders, as great beings. Not just as an old man or an old woman, but somebody who in their life has learned everything about life and has lived that and is able to pass that on to the generations to come. But we're supposed to be a humble people, have humility. So to stand up and say, I am a great being, doesn't seem to be a step in the right direction. I want also to acknowledge those two young children. I think the way that they talk about those words that are spoken is that these are the words that are spoken before any other words are spoken. And when we do that, we acknowledge that without the Spirit we can't do this. So we call the attention of the Spirit to be in every way with us as we conduct the ceremony, or as we do the teachings, or sing the songs, or carry on with the meetings that are being held. So what we witnessed this morning and what we were a part of is that these young children are the reason that the Spirit is with us today. There is this great concern about our language. Some of them are threatened with extinction. But being witness to what took place today, we can feel it's being taken care of. That we saw our future, and our future looked good and sounded good. As I was sitting there listening to people talking, these words went across my mind. Everyone has the right to feel good about who they are. And for us, all that we have been through since the coming of this other people to our island, this place given to us by the Creator. It's been a long time that we haven't felt that way. But everyone, and there is no exception to this, everyone has the right to feel good about who they are. I'm used to having enough time to say what I want to say. But I've only got half an hour, so I better get at it. We were given a way of life. It's not a religion, it's a way of life. In our way that we were given to understand that when it came time for the Creator to create a human being, He created him, He created her 4 ways, as the 4 colors of human life. That's our belief. Human life didn't originate in one part of the world and spread all over the earth. Human life began in 4 places on this earth. And if we still remembered where we came from, we could trace our way all the way back to the very first one who was lowered here to this earth in this part of the world. So when human beings were created as the 4 colors of human life, the Creator gave each one of them a road, gave to each one a place on this earth to dwell, to live out their life according to the way they were given that life by the Creator. And so the Creator, having created each one from the earth, a different color, sent them out from His side in the 4 directions. The red color that we know as Neskogabowit, red color standing, was the only one who looked back. And that doesn't speak ill or unfavorably of the other colors. It just says that they were so taken by the life that the Creator gave them. They were so awed by that life that they left right away, and they were in a hurry to live out that life on the earth, to give expression to that life. But the red color didn't want to leave the Creator's side. He didn't want to leave, as He called him, his grandfather. He didn't want to leave his grandfather alone. And so he had to be persuaded to take the first step on that road that we today call the Red Road. The Creator persuaded him and urged him, and so he left the side of the Creator and began to walk on that road. But he stopped 4 times as he walked. Each time the Creator encouraged him to keep on going. And in our understanding of that 4th time that he turned around, the Creator said to him, from this place onward, you will not look back. And because he didn't look back, he created an opening through all of those levels from the spirit level to the earth level. And those doorways are still open to us today when we go back home, when our life is finished here and we go back home to the Creator. But at that fourth place, He put a spirit there. And that's the spirit we call Mede Manido, where Midewiwin comes from. Midewid means to practice the sacred way, to practice the ceremony of the sacred way of life. Midewiwin, the Midewiwin way. Only to the red color was that spirit given. And Anishinaabe, as we call the human being, was the only one who was given immediate access to the Creator. If you stand on your spiritual tiptoes in this world, you can actually reach up to the Spirit and talk to the Spirit directly. And I'm sure that the other colors of the world have their own story about how they are special to the Creator and how their journey to live out the sacred life on this earth was given to them. But for us, that's our story. The beginning of our story on this earth as human beings is a recognition that we are special to the Creator. Throughout the creation story, it is always said, the Creator, our grandfather, loved his red children. How we could ever lose that sense of being is hard to imagine. As it is now looking back, hard to imagine how great and powerful a people we must have been. When from the very beginning of life we heard those stories of our creation, how the Creator made us as a people. When the Creator created the original man, original human being of the red color, in the same way as He had created all of the colors of the earth, He gathered up 4 parts of earth from the 4 directions of this island today we call the Turtle Island. And He mixed that earth together in His hands, and when He opened up His hands, that earth mixed together was the red color. And then He began to shape him in his today's appearance. And when He opened up His hands, there He stood, the red color. And that's where we hear the word Meskogabawi, the one who was the red color, standing in the Creator's hand. But He would not even begin to create the red color until He was satisfied in His mind that this was the most beautiful being the Creator could create. He wouldn't stop thinking about it until He was satisfied, yes, truly this is the most beautiful being. And then He opened up His hands, and there He stood. And He continued to refine the features of that earth being according to the image that He saw. And again, it says He wouldn't stop working on that vessel until He was satisfied, yes, truly this is the most beautiful being I can create. And when he was satisfied, then he filled the vessel. Just that image and just that story of the creation of the red color of human life. That's what we have a right to. We have a right to believe that we are in the Creator's eyes, in the eyes of our grandfather, the most beautiful being he could make from this earth, placed upon the earth. And in the same way, when he created this earth, long before he created Anishinaabe, he made this place to be the most beautiful place. He created this world because he wanted a place to send his thoughts to. In the darkness, all he had was his thought. And he sent his thoughts out into the forever darkness. But there was nothing for his thoughts to bounce back from. And so he thought about his thought. He thought about all of the thoughts that followed from those thoughts. That there was nowhere out there for his thoughts to bounce back from. So he thought to himself, I will have to create a place. I'll have to create a place to send my thoughts to. Long after the creation of the universe and all of the planets and all of the stars that are out there, he determined to create that place. But that's when he first thought of it, was in the darkness, in the beginning, before the beginning. He wanted a place to send his thoughts to. And so when he had created this earth and said the birds carried the seeds and dropped them everywhere upon the earth, the Creator smiled. When those seeds, having been dropped to the earth, sprouted they germinated into the earth, spread their roots, and pushed the shoots through the soil, and they began to leaf and then to bloom. When the Creator witnessed that, it said he started to cry. He started to cry because for the first time he saw what his thoughts looked like. Our mother was so beautiful when she was young. And the dress that she wore was the most beautiful dress. All of the flowers, all of the berries, all of the foods, all of the plants and medicines of life came into bloom. And that's what made the Creator cry. He cried tears of joy at how beautiful his thoughts were as they became actualized in this world. And so we know all the other reasons why the earth was created. That was one of the primary reasons why. To create a place to send his thoughts to. So when it came time to create Anishinaabe, the human being, in the same way he imaged how beautiful he would look, and he created him according to that image. And then it said he filled the vessel. The Creator's thoughts, when he sent them out into the darkness of the universe, Wherever they touched on the darkness, they left an imprint in the form of a star. And so the star world is thus created by the thoughts of the Creator. As many as the stars in the universe are the thoughts in the Creator's mind. Of those thoughts, he filled the vessel. From his own thoughts, he filled the vessel of this one who is the red color of human life. And what that tells us is that for us, as the original people of this part of the world, there is no greater intelligence than indigenous intelligence. And I wonder again, how could we ever have forgotten that? How could we ever traded our way for a way that questioned the validity and sacredness and the awesome truth of our knowledge about the life that was given to us? We have the right to feel good about who we are. Our creation story verifies that. That's the way the Creator regarded us and still regards us. He fills the whole vessel with his thoughts. That's indigenous intelligence. That's the intelligence that we were given. And it was throughout our whole being, not just in our brain, not just in our head. Our intelligence is throughout our whole being. Our mind is throughout our whole being. And then he touched that first being at the center of the vessel. And when he did, he caused his heart to beat in time with the heartbeat of the Creator of life. There is an energy by which everything is created. Everything began in the darkness, when there was nothing yet created. But the Creator wanted there to be life. So the Creator's intention in creating, and throughout all of our knowledge about this life that we have, it always validates life. The Spirit doesn't know how to negate life. The Spirit doesn't know how it can be that there is not life. That's the way of the Spirit. And that energy is what in English we call love, that energy of caring and kindness, this desire to live life is what we were given. This desire is, if you understand emotion spiritually, it's this emotional drive that we have to live this life in its finest expression of being. Anishinaabe, that's how he was created to be. That's how she was made to be. The Creator wanted to provide a way for a spirit to be able to actually live in this world. Spirit is a spirit, and unless the spirit is vested within a physical vessel of this world, the spirit can't live here. And so the Creator created a human being. When he had filled that vessel with all of his thoughts and the rhythm of his heartbeat, Then he breathed into him the breath of life. And when he breathed into him the breath of life, there was transferred from the all-spirit to the vessel, the individual spirit of who each one of us is. That's the way we were created to be. We are a spark of the spirit of the all-spirit, the great spirit. And in our way of thinking and in our way of knowing, the Creator would never destroy that which is of himself. So we have no concept of where people would be damned forever, or a place like hell where people would be committed to. Spirit is forever. We are charged almost as a responsibility to find the best way to pursue our lives so that the Spirit can express herself in the world in which we live. We were given everything that we would need. When it was time to create Anishinaabe, the red color of human life, as a spirit, Anishinaabe was called into the presence of the Creator and all of those of the spirit realm and all of those of the spirits of the animals and of the trees were all there. And that's the time of, it's called the great first instructions of life. When those instructions were given, he was told by the Creator, I have finished what I set out to do. I have given you everything that you will ever need. The road I have given you is long. You have a time to live on this earth, and the time I have given you is long enough to experience the great beauty and joy of this life, and to do in this life what I might ask you to do. I have left nothing out. The Creator never made a mistake when he created us. It was the intention of the Creator to create us in that way, his red children. And he gave us every means of body, mind, heart, and soul to do in this life what the Creator desired for us to do. And so our first intention in this life is to find that beauty in the life that he gave to us. In the spirit realm, you can't touch life in its physical manifest form. You can't hear the birds singing in the morning. You can't taste the taste of the first strawberry of life to know what it tastes like. You have to do that physically in order to feel it spiritually. And that's why the Creator created the earth in the way that he did. And that's why he created us in the way that he created us. So that when we reach out with our fingertips to touch the world, the Spirit can feel what the world feels like. This earth is said to be the only place where the Spirit can touch life directly. So when you reach out and pick that first strawberry in the spring, and you put that to your lips, and you begin to taste the taste of that first berry, say there's no taste greater than that taste of the first berry of life. Even little children just rub that on their lips and they can taste that strawberry. They have this look of delight on their face, the joy of that experience. The only place you can find that is in this world. Nowhere else in the universe can you find that. And I'm safe in saying that because I know we're not going to get out of our solar system, except on Star Trek or something. And there might indeed and probably is other beings out there. But there is no one like Anishinaabe on this earth. There is no one like the human beings on this earth. This is the only place where you can touch life directly. So when that child experiences the taste of that strawberry, magnify that 1,000 times, and you'll have a bit of an idea how the spirit feels. Oh, so that's what life tastes like. Life tastes so sweet. That's the experience of the spirit. When a mother holds a baby in her arms for the first time after giving birth, what we are told, and as men we have to take it for granted that it's true, because we can't give birth to life. And we can never know fully what that experience is like. But the way it was told to me by grandfathers and grandmothers is that there is no feeling greater than that feeling. To feel when that child is brought to you and is on your left side, flesh to flesh, and you feel the warmth of that new being in the world. There is no greater feeling than that. And if you multiply that 1,000 times, how does the spirit feel? Oh, that's how brand new, fresh, new life feels like. I've always wanted to know what life feels like. And now I feel it as I cradle that life in my arms. So this world that we live in, that's the kind of life the Creator gave us to live. And He gave us the means to experience that. We, each one of us, according to our understanding, personally, I can say, I am a spirit who is walking through this world. I am a spirit who is experiencing life in this world. I have reached out and touched life, and I have touched life deeply. I have listened to the birds in the morning, and I have learned some of their songs. I have listened to what the animals are trying to say to us, and the trees and the medicines. And this life the Creator gave us is full. I imagine if I was conscious, I'd know my time must be coming to an end. But I lost my consciousness. So. So I'll finish with this. Last year, around this time, I was driving from down this southern Ontario up to Shawanaga, which is around the central Georgian Bay area. And if you catch it at the right time in the fall, the leaves, the turning leaves and all the colors is the most magnificent in the whole world. At least that's the way I believe it about where I come from. And I was driving along and I started to notice that it was so spectacular, the splendor of that time of the year. And I had this thought, the kind of thoughts that I'm beginning to have these days as I'm getting older. As I witnessed the beauty all around me as I was driving along. And it just so overwhelmed me. And I started to cry. And this whole big emotion rose up inside me and overflowed into tears. And it was tears of joy at how beautiful this world is. And along with that was the realization that probably in not too long a distance in time, I won't be able to see this anymore. I'll be a spirit, and I won't be able to touch this life. I won't be able to behold the beauty of those trees in full color in the fall. And so in the time that we have on this earth, appreciate the beauty of this world. This is the only place as a spirit that you can experience it. Take care of it. Take care of our relatives in this creation. Take care of the trees and the grass, the plants and the flowers, so that they will always have the promise that they were given of the fullness of life. And it is true, we have to speak for them. They have their own voices in communicating with one another. But the human being is the only one that was given language. And we have to speak for them. They are without a voice in that way. We have to speak up for them. We have to believe in the beauty of this world. And as Indigenous people of this earth, we need to feel good about ourselves. And we need to look into the teachings that we have to find those ways that we can speak for this life. There may be people who are so into the synthetic creation of life around us that they have lost touch with life. They are motivated by other things that end up being destructive for the life all around us. And we have to appeal to their conscience, and we have to speak up for our relatives who are still doing what the Creator gave them to do. The motion I want to make I made this suggestion one time to a group of priests, Jesuit priests. And I don't know if they thought it was a good idea, but they never did anything about it. I think we have to tone down identifying ourselves as religions and as any kind of organized expression of religion or faith. There's something that's holding us back from an understanding there. I think we should create some kind of institute for the study of the Spirit. That's what I think. It's politically neutral. If you believe in the spirit of life, you can't ever think that your way is favored by the Creator over another. That God is somehow on your side, which means He's against everybody else. Being spiritual is being of the way of the Spirit. We were given a way to live in this world as the Spirit, touching this life and experiencing this life directly. That makes everything we do, from tasting a strawberry to smelling a flower or a braid of sweetgrass to hugging a tree or setting entrapped animals free. Everything that we do is spiritual. Taste the strawberry. It makes the spirit happy. So the very physical things of life, the material things of life that we can feel and enjoy, that's spiritual. There's nothing more spiritual than living your life on this earth in the most direct way. And in the most beautiful way, express yourself in your own life. Anyway, somebody take me off this stage.
After that, it's certainly hard to know exactly what to say. I think many of us were moved to tears. I know Bob and I have been crying together back there. That kind of gentle and loving way of teaching and sharing with us is so important. And I thank Onaubinisay, he who walks above the ground, for sharing with us here today. So I think we should try to come together and create an institute for the study of the Spirit. Yes, I hope that way.